Thank you.
Just let's wait for a couple of minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes. Let's see if anybody joins us. Otherwise, we'll start.
Mm.
Okay. It's 12 now. I think we should go ahead, and anybody who likes to join can join us later. And if anybody has any question, can drop us in the comment box. Okay. Shall we begin?
Yes, we can begin. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Pari Saikia. I'm a human trafficking journalist from India. Today, February 9th, is a significant day in Indian history. The Bonded Labour System Abolition Act went into force on this day in 1976, officially putting an end to this heinous practice in India. Bonded labor, often known as debt bondage, is the most severe form of slavery in which a person is forced to work as a mean of repaying a loan or in exchange of a loan from a landlord. Vulnerable people are tricked or forced into working for years at extremely low wage or no pay. Then the debt is transferred from one generation to the next. And the most impacted people are the one belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Has India truly outlawed bonded labor? Well, the answer is no. From working in inhuman conditions in sectors like brick kilns, textile mills, packaging industry, construction sites, or as domestic helpers in big cities, the condition of these workers have gone from bad to worse with little attention from the government. To discuss the current situation of bonded labor in India, we have Dr. Kandasamy Krishnan. Dr. Krishnan is an executive director of the Foundation for Sustainable Development. Well, it has been 49 years since the enactment of the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act in 1976, but the practice of bonded labor continues to exist in the contemporary India. I would like you to explain the reasons behind this, and which are the states involved in these crimes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the questions. You have put a right question. Today, 9th February 2025, exactly 50 years before, the government of India introduced the Bonded Labour System Abolition Ordinance in 1975. Later, the act was passed by both houses of the parliament, received the president assent on February 9th, 1976. Actually, the law implementation starts with effect from October 25, 1975. So, as per the ordinance, today is 50th year. But as per the law, today 49th. So, February 9th is a significant at the national level because it is an abolition of bonded labor system. The bonded labor system was enacted based on the Article 23 of the Constitution of India, which prohibits the trafficking of human beings, forced labor, bonded labor, slavery, exploitation, and any violation of Article 23 is a punishable offense as per the constitutional rights. Legally, the system of bonded labor system has been abolished throughout the country, including Jammu Kashmir. That was the law. That's how the law has been framed. Legitimately, the government is responsible for implementation of the law and its rules throughout the country. The district administration is given total authority to enforce the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act and achieve the intention of the law to safeguard its citizens from socio-economic exploitation. However, illegally, a large number of bonded laborers are engaged in number of industries, mostly in unorganized and informal sector. Labor bondage draws heavily upon traditional social relations. That is, includes caste system, class system, and the disparities between illiteracy. From this was started from agriculture field, now it's moving to non-agriculture field. And most of the workers we identified are from either backward communities or Dalits and largely from tribal communities. As per our experiences, we have during last 15 years, we are identifying bonded laborers in number of industries that not limited to agricultural industries, plantations, irrigation, sugarcane field, cotton plant field, rice mills, flower garden, vegetable garden, ginger cultivations, grazing field, poultry farms, wood cutting, stone quarry, sand mining, granite quarry, brick kilns, road works, construction, borewell works, telephone line making, spinning mills, weaving industries, power looms, garments, fireworks, firecrackers units, fishing, fish farms, salt processing unit, leather goods processing unit, domestic work, hotels, parlors, resorts, sweet stalls, silver anglet making unit, bangles making unit, apartments, food processing unit, and number of these industries. That's where the bonded labor system has been engaged. All this comes under the either informal sector or unorganized sets. Most of them are not registered with the government, or most of them are not inspected by the concerned authorities. So among these industries, if you see, we have seen a lot of cases has been reported largely from bricklays, rice mills, constructions, weaving industries, fish processing units, some in mining, some also new forms of bonded labor system that are happening now through the domestic servitude. They're appointed in apartments and new cities and like that. So this shows that the extension issue of bonded labor system still existing, still happening. That's why large number of cases has been coming. The Minister of Labor and Employment has been reporting through its news through its action, and the National Human Rights Commission is monitoring these whole issues across the country. You are in unmute. You have to unmute.
The regions or states are involved mostly in the bonded labor crime?
See, if you see, we are working in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, and these states. When we, during our process of last, we started this work formally addressing the bonded labor system in 2011 onwards. And in this process, we have been rescued bonded laborers. People have been trafficked from Telangana to Rajasthan. We rescued from Rajasthan. People are trafficked from south to Maharashtra, where we rescued. Similarly, people who have been trafficked from West Bengal to South India, Chhattisgarh to South India, Odisha to South India, Uttar Pradesh to South India, Madhya Pradesh to South India. Largely, the new states, for example, many people have been migrating from north side and central belt of the India to Telangana, to Karnataka, to Tamil Nadu, like that. This area where largely a good amount of wages are there. The issue is, many these issues are happening where there is a remote and rural unemployed districts. That is why we need to address the issue at the grassroots level. Large number of people are facing unemployment in these states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Telangana, Andhra, all these areas where the remote rural areas, people are unable to find a job. They are finding searching some kind of employment. So middlemen are targeting these people. Now the bonded labor system is shaping new forms from traditional systems to it coming to new areas like a debt bondage system. Then middlemen impose contract-based bonded labor system. Then obligation-based bonded labor system. Apart from traditional bonded labor system, new forms are coming mostly due to advance and debt. May unmute, please unmute.
My God, yeah, I'm so sorry for this again. So could you please explain to our viewers what are the different forms of, a bonded labor or debt bondage using examples from cases where your organizations intervened?
Yeah. See if you see the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act, the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act is one of the best welfare legislation in our country. It has 27 sections in the law which is framed. In the law, as per the section 2 definition, under the section 2 definition and subsection G, it says, Bonded Labour System means a form of forced or partially forced forced labor, where a person forfeits his rights and freedom because of a debt or other obligation. That obligation can be economic consideration or social obligation. The bonded labor system is a severe human rights violation, and it is a basically against Constitution of India. I give an example. See, we rescued 51 bonded laborers, including men, women, and children, from a sugarcane cutting located in the southern part of the Tamil Nadu, a district called, a place called Sivagiri in Tamil Nadu, where all these people have been engaged for bonded laborers by the middleman for 3 years. During those 3 years, they were promised to pay more wages, but that each family has received 10,000 as an advance for the job. So these 51 people have been taken by the middleman and engaged in a sugarcane cutting field. Continuously 3 years they were forced to work in, with that middleman alone. So when we rescued these 51 people, they said, we got 10,000 and working 3 years. So far, we did not get any minimum wages. And they're saying, because you got advance for that interest only, you're working like that, including children were posted. And two of the women, they were pregnant and they delivered baby on the worksite itself. They were not allowed to go to any of the family functions, not even to get medical treatment. So this is called debt bondage system. The other one case I'll give you, 27 bonded laborers has been rescued from irrigation project in Maharashtra. The people are poor at Chenju tribal community. The Chenju tribal community, during 6 to 7 months, they don't have any jobs. Because of that, the middleman comes and they promise that there is a job available, can you come? So by paying a debt to these people, they were transported and they do not know where they're going, to whom they should contact. They've been engaged for 2 years. And then after that, through one of the village administrative officer, the issue came. Then the district collector came and they rescued and transported. The other things I would like to say, there is one place called near Krishnagiri district. It's again Tamil Nadu, border of Karnataka, where 106 people have, where 126 people have been engaged into the bonded labor system in bricklanes. One bricklane, what happened? They paid advance to the workers. They engaged to work in their bricklanes. After that, after the work is over, that bricklane owner sold all these people to the other bricklane owners. And they got money. Like, it's like a workers are becoming, after you pay the debt to them, they will become your kind of your product. So workers are sold like a slavery. It's like 100% like a slave. The other example, 106 people belonging to 60 families has been rescued in Nagar Karnool district in Telangana state from fish processing unit. Where these people have been, it's a generational bondage. It's called generational bondage, means traditional bondage. Their parents received loan and they could not repay the amount during their working period, like 20 years, 30 years. Then the children started working with the same owner. It's called generational bondage. Then other example I will give you is, 42 bonded laborers has been transported from Tamil Nadu to Andhra, a district called Chittoor area. In Chittoor, they have been rescued from the agriculture field by the district administration because there they did not get not even minimum wages, the freedom of movement restricted and freedom of employment were restricted. Similarly, 53 bonded laborers from Tamil Nadu, place called Viluppuram, they transported to Mandya in Karnataka state, where they engaged in sugarcane farms. There again the issue came because one of the women was died at the work site. They reported to back. They wanted to bring the body back to their home. There the owner did not allow. They asked them to bury the body in the field itself and do the work. So that is kind of huge exploitation it was happened. Even during COVID, I give you another example. During COVID time, we identified number of industries that were running during lockdown, and we rescued 340 people. Among them, 2% were died due to the bricklane wall was fallen. That was the FIR report says. The bricklane wall was fallen on them, so they died. Actually, nobody knows what was the real reason. But these people have been engaged to work even during COVID lockdown time. So we reported to the case, District Legal Service Authority, District Collector, Labor Department, Revenue Department, Police Department. Still the case is pending at the court. All this department together, you filed a case, and these people have been rescued, and they took the treatment at the government medical hospital. After dying of 2 people, they were taken. All the workers were transported back to Odisha and Chhattisgarh. So this is so that even what I'm trying to say is the bonded labor system is taking a new forms. We call contemporary forms of slavery. It can be either bricklaying or domestic violence, domestic or agriculture, grazing or poultry, whatever forms. But either due to debt or due to forced labor or due to freedom of non-payment of minimum wages. All these issues are happening. In fact, one of the area where we identified bond laborers is young girls who passed higher secondary, who have been studying 10th standard and plus two. They were living on the foothills of the one of the remote Western Ghats area, where their local they have agents, labor contractors who come there. They go and convince these families saying that okay, your daughter studied 10th standard and 12th standard. What she can do? See, next she has to go to marriage only. There is a job available. Can you send them like that? The local agents convinced them. They took like 150 workers from that Western Ghats foothills area. They placed them in a industry called textile spinning industries under the name of training period. But they've been forced to work more than 12 hours in a day and throughout no holidays. Like 6 to 7 months, they are not able to contact their families. This is called, a modern slavery system. So anyway, after that, we rescued with the help of government and they provided their training to them and increased their capacity in terms of alternate employment. And the children have been admitted to the schools and the government welfare schemes reaching to them. That's how the rehabilitation is happening. But all these cases, I can give number of cases. So far, we rescued more than 16,000 bonded laborers who have been rescued during last 12 years. I am seeing in all these cases, due to advance, lack of debt and loan to the worker, because of that they post to work. Second, restricted freedom of movement, even to festivals or death or any family functions. For example, we have four of us are there. Me, my wife, and my children are there. If there is anything happen, the owner will ask, "Sir, in my family there is a function when death has happened. I have to go like that." They say, "You can go. You leave your wife, or your wife and children go. You leave here." So they won't allow all the family members. It's called restricted freedom of movement. So this was we identified in all these cases. Then restricted freedom of employment. That means, okay, I got loan 20,000 from you. Allow me to work in the other owner. I'll get 30,000 from them and I will pay you 20,000. So leave me to do that job. They say, no, you first complete your work, then only you'll be allowed. That means freedom of employment also restricted here. And all of them, if you see in our experiences, most of these bonded laborers, they live in a pathetic condition. No bathrooms, no proper drinking water, not even unable to get a public distribution system. So this shows that all this is that somewhere else it's a kind of slavery. Moreover, these workers are treated as a inhuman and ill treatment. So debt to bondage because of the advance. Freedom of movement is restricted. Freedom of employment restricted. Living in a pathetic condition, non-payment of minimum wages, and also treatment, physical, mental, psychological exploitation, sometimes violence happens. So these cases, what we identified means the perpetrators and their networking system are more powerful because they're the criminals. They know the criminal activities better than the lawyers. Hence, actions from the multiple stakeholders need to be a very effective manner in dealing these criminals. Then only the invisible crimes which is happening. The society, if we say the injustice happening somewhere else, it may happen tomorrow to us also. That means the crimes that is happening is invisible. The people who are facing issue are voiceless. That's how this bonded labor system has been taking different forms, and still it is a cancer in our society, which is happening in our society. The society has to be reformed with eliminating this kind of injustice and this kind of eradicating the bonded labor system from our society.
Right. So I want to understand what is the conviction rate in such case, because it looks like the exploitation is happening in every sectors. right? And so the number of cases are also high, and I don't think the most of the cases gets reported because of so many factors, like the people are not in a condition or in a situation to report a matter. They're quite vulnerable. There's so much of threat is used and coercion is used, force is used. So I want to understand, when you go, what are the challenges for an organizations while registering a case in terms of bonded labor? What is the conviction rate in India? What is the real data? What does the real data say about India?
See that as per the Ministry of Labor and Employment, there's no proper data available as on today. Even the Supreme Court of India has recently, they have asked the government to conduct proper survey across the thing and then bring data about that. But originally, if you calculate it from the 1976 to now, around 2 lakh bonded laborers has been rescued and reported across the country. Uh, there is a Bandhwa Mutti Mosha, one
This
of
is
the
reported. These
reported,
are the
yeah,
reported cases. Okay.
yeah, reporting cases. And then if you see that Bandha Mukti Mosha, one of the organization working in this issue, they themselves rescued, according to their report, more than 20,000 bonded laborers has been, they rescued. Then one more organization has been involved in addressing this issue. Their report also says around 22,000 bonded laborers has been rescued. And we have a data. We have a data of, it's called a data of the database of the release bonded laborers. The database, according to our report, we have 16,000 cases have been reported. 16,000 cases have been so far. But without knowing, there are many cases also migrate without a release certificate. There is a when you rescue the bonded laborers, you have to provide release certificates. So without release certificates, number of cases are happening. There is a
And
the
data is
Siddharth
from,
yeah, but
sorry,
one
sorry to
yeah
interrupt. So
one
this
but
data is from which year to which year?
yeah, what data I'm having is from 2000 2011 to 2025. The data I'm having
Okay.
it. Okay, the
Okay.
data I'm having it 2011 to 2025. But
So
the
25
data what
mm-hmm.
the data with the government from 1976. Actually, when the 1976 the law came, it came as part of the 20-point scheme. There is during that time Congress was ruling, and they also framed here to improve the every village. They wanted to reduce the poverty. They started a lot of programs like food for work, rural development work, and every village should become a sustainable like that. They brought in that. It's called 20-point program. In that, one of the fourth point is elimination of bonded labor system. So during that time, it was a mandatory that every district is addressing a bonded labor issue. So all the district administration, because this law, the law gives power under the section 21 that the district collector and sub-divisional magistrate, they can immediately address the issue, and they can even use the summary trial to eliminate the crime. So that during 76 to 83, just within a few years, they were rescued more than 5 lakhs people. That data was there. And 2016, the Ministry of Labor and Employment, they introduced central sector scheme or rehabilitation. In that, they have allocated to conduct survey in every district 4,50,000 rupees. The central government budget is there to conduct the survey. It was announced in 2016. So every district, the government has to conduct survey. But what is happening is, so far, none of the state, has conducted proper survey across the country. Even I would like to give an example. Tamil Nadu, if you see, Tamil Nadu is a pioneer in addressing the bonded labor issue. In fact, Tamil Nadu is the only state that they are declared February 9th is anti-bonded labor day. And that day, all over the state, all the district administration is taking pledge, conducting inspections, doing survey work, organizing signature campaign and awareness program. Like that is happening. Even Tamil Nadu also, they conducted 14 districts only. I remember only 14 districts they conducted survey like this. This is the data under center sector scheme, the rehabilitation. So they conducted survey like 14 states. But what is happening is that's a central government allocated a budget. Budget is there. But across the India, not only Tamil Nadu, many states are there. And these states are not taking effort in conducting the survey. So if they conduct survey only, we will come to know what is the current situation of the bonded labor system. The Tamil Nadu government has a plan. They have a target. By 2030, they want to remove the crime from the state. Already a lot of prevention work is going. They created a model in Tiruvannamalai, they created a model in Tiruvalluvar. They are also doing a lot of, the labor department coordination, revenue department coordination, legal service authority coordination, police department coordination. Very good. But still, the challenge in Tamil Nadu is, imagine addressing the root causes is a question. And the new problem is lot of migrant workers. You could have seen all the television, all media, including your media, the migrant workers, they have been marching like, in all the streets. Everywhere marginalized migrant workers have been moving all the roads. That shows that it's a challenge to the government, challenge to the system. Imagine pioneer state like, Kerala is a pioneer in terms of addressing the bonded labor system. Next to the Kerala, Tamil Nadu is one good in that. And the third is Karnataka. Fourth is Telangana. Fifth is Maharashtra. And some part, Punjab also, Uttar Pradesh, some part. But many other states, still they have to awake. They're not taking this issue very seriously. They feel that actually, if there's a bonded labor system, or there's a violence on women, or gender justice, or dowry, it's the same on our own country. According to me, I would like to say, see, we have a constitution. The constitution says liberty, equality, dignity, and then justice to everybody. And we have constitution. Why we have constitution? If you're not implementation, what is the use of constitution? We have a government. The system is there. The system is given a. The system means it's an organized system to deal the issue. We have a guiding principle. The constitution is the guidelines. We have a tool. It's called legislation. If you not use the tool, your vision will be, you cannot achieve the vision. If you are not achieving the vision, the system is failure. So that means we have to understand, revisit the constitutional framework and the preamble. Let us accept the crime and deal the issue so that throughout the country we can eliminate this bonded labor system if we have will and power.
So then why the law enforcement agencies or the duty bearers are
No, I mean it's an accountability. See, the problem in our country is who has to do what. The roles and responsibility is not clear. The law, I would like to come again. This law, this particular law, it's in a see the country itself. It's a welfare country, welfare state. We call it a welfare state. That's why the constitution. We the people framed the constitution. We the people adopted this constitution. We the people framed rules and given ourselves. The problem is any issue. There is a accountability is the question now. Every stakeholder, you and me, all of us has a responsibility. Here we call there should be a good coordination among the departments. There's no good coordination among the department. I give an example, then you may understand. We are not only addressing the bonded labor issue, we are also working on the empowerment of the tribal community. Why we are taking more interest on bonded labor issue means most of the bonded labor rescued bonded laborers are from tribal community. I just would like to give an example. See, as on data 24th June 2024, 86% of the rescued bonded laborers are from Dalits and tribals. Among that, 41.9% of them are men, 30.6% are women, 27.5% are children, and most of them, large number of bonded laborers, like 21% of them are rescued from brick kilns, 18% of them rescued from spinning mills, 14% of them rescued from rice mills, 12% of them rescued from sugarcane and plantations, 10% of them rescued from agriculture and farming, 9% of them rescued from construction, 6% of them are rescued from stone quarries, 5% of them rescued from wood cutting, 3% of rescued from fish catching, and 2% rescued from salt and sewage starts. So the data, what it says, mostly the tribal people, uh, most of them are tribal people. It has a history. But I would like to take 2-3 minutes extra. See, India was ruled by British people. The bonded labor system passed up caste system, and it has a history. Not only now, even in Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bible, or Gita and Quran, everywhere the slavery system is being accepted. Like when the society started itself, people have been hunting and food gathering. Slowly we moved to agriculture system, then later to industry system. The agriculture system and industry system requires a labor. So that when you require a labor, automatically exploitation also starts equally. Because the whole world is moving towards profit and greediness. Because of the greediness and profit, people somehow they want to exploit. If I exploit only, I can get my profit. No, the profit is nothing but exploitation and nothing but cheating. That's what I call it. So when India was ruled by British people, they wanted to extract, forest. They want to extract the forest resources by the British people. When they came to took the forest, the local people, the local community members, they were not allowed to take the forest. Then the British government introduced in 1864 a forest department. First time in India, forest department came. Then the Forest Act came. The tribal people started fighting against the Forest Act, Forest Department. Then the British government introduced in 1894 Criminal Tribals Act. Whoever is fighting against the tribal, against the British people, they were treated as a criminals. Then again in then the Land Acquisition Act came. Then followed that in 1927, exact 1927, Indian Forest Act came, one of the powerful law in terms of protecting the forest for the government. That was a time the community controlled resources were taken by the government. Because of that, tribal people from 1927 onwards forced to leave the forest area. That means forced to leave their livelihood base, forced to leave their employments, forced to leave their sufficient sustainable life. Then later, that is the first time slowly the tribals have been moving from forest area. They started working in the landlords. Lot of jamindari system, landlord systems are there in our country. Then these people were used to work as a laborers. When they started working the laborers, you maybe go to website, you will come to know Keel Venmani bonded labor case. In Tamil Nadu, it was happened 1968, Keel Venmani, where 44 people have been murdered by firing them, putting them in one hut and they killed them. And if you go to Maharashtra, in Sana, one of the districts, where 244 people killed by giving a poison in their food and in their food pulses. They mixed the poison in the pulses because they asked wages. And if you go to Telangana, the husbands and men were forced to kill because of the landlordism, because they raised the boy, asked wages. So this as a history. Then 1927, after that, only the people have been migrated and they've been working in the landlords and they accepted whatever the social injustice that happened. All these issues slowly built into the landless laborers, land rights movement. Then landless laborers movement against bonded labor system. All this is thing that is the time in 1974, 75, 76, up to 79. The government of India introduced a lot of new schemes. It's called Put for Work Scheme, Bonded Labor System Abolition Act, Interstate Migrant Workmen Act. Like that, there many law came. The same 1972, Indian Wildlife Protection Act came. One of the best law in terms of conservation. Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It's a good law in terms of conservation of the forest. But people have been doing hunting and food gathering on the forest. They curtailed, they were stopped to do that work. When they stopped to do that work, The government or department somewhere else, they could have planned some kind of alternative. They did not plan any alternative because of the poor people have been immediately they lost their livelihood. They were shifted to the migrants. When they shifted migrants, the bricklaying industry, that's the time industries and new employments has been started. These people posed to work in this thing. As per the data for us, large number of, why even today, large number of bonded laborers are identified, particularly from vulnerable tribal groups. Tamil Nadu, you take, you can, or Andhra, you take, Telangana, you take, Odisha, you take, Bihar, you take, Jharkhand, you take, Uttar Pradesh, you take, even Gujarat, you take. All the states, large number of the bonded laborers are from the tribal communities because of they were unable to, their resources were curtailed. They were uprooting of tribals from traditional habitat, receding forest cover, low agricultural productive activity, and created need for credit. Finally, they were seeking employment and livelihoods under bondage, and often through migration or through middlemen. That is where the what I'm trying to say, addressing root cause is very important. Interdepartmental coordination is very important. Another more thing is every government once in a 5 year they should conduct a survey, and once in a 5 year they have to bring reform the schemes and plan with the people and give power to the panchayats, allocate sufficient budget to the panchayats so that panchayats can deal the migration issue, displacement issue, and they also should maintain a register about the workers' movement.
Right, right. I know you have already addressed this, but I still like to ask. See, Tamil Nadu is also India's first state to announce that it will observe Feb 9 as anti-labor, anti-bonded labor day, for the mass awareness. And your organizations have been working in the with the marginalized communities in the southern region for a very long time. I want to understand from you, what does the actual situation on the ground say about the interstate migration issue, interstate bonded labor issue, and interstate labor trafficking matter? Because this is something which is going on for many many years. Even when I was in Tamil Nadu in 2023, we came across so many cases of interstate trafficking.
Yeah, yeah. See, Tamil Nadu, it has like mostly South India. I can say even when the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act came at the national level, prior to the national level central law, many states passed, like around 8 states they passed the Bonded Labour against act against the Bonded Labour System. Tamil Nadu is a pioneer because of the social movement, social justice movement, and Dravidian movement like that. Tamil Nadu, the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act, Tamil Nadu was the first state to conduct the survey. And they formed a district level corpus fund in all the districts. And they were, Tamil Nadu is good in terms of, regulating line department coordination. And also they follow the law, section 13 and 14, they formed vigilance committees and act in all the districts, almost all the districts. And they regularly conducting vigilance committee meetings in every district, and also the minuting, and the minutes are sent to everyone. And of course, even 9th February is today is the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act day. But Tamil Nadu was they did on 7th itself, last Friday itself, because of working today is a holiday, so 7th is a working day. And 7th, all the districts under the leadership of district collector, they took pledge and they started signature campaign against bonded labor. And they also doing a survey and inspection to the all work sites. So Tamil Nadu, in terms of they're good in terms of implementing the law, and also here people are also demanding their rights, and the government also understand their responsibility. So there is a good coordination between the rights and duties. That way, Tamil Nadu is pioneer, and the both chief ministers of the current ruler and the previous current chief ministers, all the chief ministers are in terms of listening to the people, and they're trying to implement the law. The major change that happened in Tamil Nadu is they're not in the denied mode. They accept the issue. That's a good thing. They accepted the crime. That's why they started, planning activity in eliminating this crime. The challenge for Tamil Nadu, even for Tamil Nadu, is interstate migrant workers. The Interstate Migrant Workers, there's a law called Interstate Migrant Workmen Act 1979. The law anywhere in India is not implemented. We have to accept. The law is one of the best law. In terms of the law, under section 14 and 15, it says people who are migrating are displaced, they should provide displacement allowance. They should provide travel allowance. My question is that anywhere happen in India that travel allowance, displacement allowance is given? All over country, either you take tax issue or GST issue or income tax issue, only they talk about organized sector. That may come less than 5% only. The unorganized sector is largely around 80%. This is where Interstate Migrant Workmen's Act also comes. But the issue, Odisha people are coming to Tamil Nadu, or Chhattisgarh people coming to Tamil Nadu, or Tamil Nadu people going to Maharashtra, the interstate coordination is lacking. Interstate Migrant Workmen Act is not implemented. Interstate departmental labor department coordination is the other issue. Another thing, within the department, there lack of employees, there lack of staff. Government officials are not much in all the departments. They require infrastructure. Even in Tamil Nadu, they're trying to find solution for interstate migrant workmen, but there's no coordination. What we need, for example, if India goes to US, we have Indians embassy in US. Indians are going to America, we have Indian embassy in America. Similarly, American embassy here, UK embassy here. Like that, every state, Odisha help desk should be in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu help desk should be in Odisha. Chhattisgarh labor help desk should be in Tamil Nadu. Similarly, like that. So every state headquarters, there should be each state's departmental cell should be there. So that people, when they migrate from Odisha, or Bihar, or West Bengal, they should immediately report who are the people are coming. They should get a card, some kind of registration card. Then they can go and work in anywhere in the state. Similarly, when they go out of the state, they should get this kind of card. So unless if you have that kind of coordination, you cannot. Even in the state of Kerala, that issue is happening. Tamil Nadu also happening. Addressing the interstate migrant coordinator, you need infrastructure, you need help desk in every state. There should be a MOU between the state, memorandum of understanding, and dealing these issues. Also, you need every railway station, there should be a kind of a communication cell. Who are coming, who are going, like a monitoring cell should be there in every railway station. Then only we can eliminate this issue. Otherwise, it's a big challenge.
Right. Well, now I want to shift the focus to the women and children belonging to the tribal communities, Adivasi communities. They remain the most vulnerable, marginalized, and targeted groups for forced labor or labor trafficking. And we always find women and children working in appalling conditions in various industries or factories, whether it is bricklaying, textile mill, packaging industry, or as a servitude, working as a domestic helper. So, what should be or should have been done to uplift this community? And how can we ensure fairness and justice to them?
See, from the history of the evolution, if you want to control one community or if you want to control one state, the immediate target women and children. Even in war and everything, you would have seen. So within the tribals, if you see, or in the bonded labor system also, we are seeing it. Women and children are targeted. For labor, men are targeted. But again, when they come as a family, most of the time, the children are targeted in some of the industries. Very recently, we identified 3 girls in one of the apartments. These 3 girls have been trafficked from Jargon, and they've been told by the middleman that we will give you, support for higher studies. You come and work. You can work part time, but later you can also study like that. They brought those 3 girls, and they engaged them into they put them into the one of the apartments where they sent for first 1 week, very happily, those three girls have been going to colleges and then coming back, and they also sometimes they start slowly working. Then later, they were totally controlled. Their phone, mobile were taken out. Their education was stopped. They forced to work under the domestic servitude. These girls was happening like this 2 years. They could not able to. Actually, the
What are the ages
middle
of these girls? What
ages
are
is
the age?
14, 15, 16 like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Same case, another case was happened in Chennai. This was rescued 2 months before. About 6 to 7, including boys and girls, have been forced to work in one of the home. That the home is one of the very popularly, elite people. They were forced to work and they were fenced all the gate, and they also have some dogs so that you cannot go or you cannot come like that. That's how. So they were also rescued because one boy was somehow they come. They took some stools and then they got up and then they crashed the compound and then reported. Then the government took the effort and like. So the issue is main issue what the middlemen they target. No, they go to the villages or they target the local areas who are the poorest of the poor, who are seeking employment. So they target them and then give them false promises and use all the fraud recruitment methods that transport. This is purely a part of human trafficking. And some of the girls, they also, we don't tell you because they also face physical and sexual violence continuously. This was happened. So these are the things that, why the challenge is. You could, they sometimes even we also won't tell the truth because the future of the children, the future of the girls, it has. If they're willing, if the victims are willing to share, we are. So that the victims, the issue is cooperation from the victims. Second, investigation officers. Third, the rehabilitation part. Fourth, case. For example, most of the cases in India, the bonded labor cases is not, I think, less than 5% only the conviction rate. 90% of the things still is either in trial or not conviction or acquittal, like that goes. The reason, some people are rescued in Karnataka, but the native of Telangana. Some people are rescued in Tamil Nadu, but the native of Bihar. So the cases, when they, as per the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act, as soon as we rescue, the revenue divisional, subdivisional magistrate who called RDO, a district magistrate who called DM, collector, they provide a release certificate. When they give a release certificate for as per the law, for men or women and children, there is a different type of rehabilitation package is there. For men, 1 lakh rupee as a compensation, rehabilitation compensation. For children and women, they can get 2 lakhs rupees as a rehabilitation compensation. For special category like third gender or girls rescued from brothel or sexual trafficking, they'll get 3 lakhs rupees as a compensation. So 1 lakh men, 2 lakh children, 2 lakh women, 3 lakh special category. This is the rehabilitation compensation as soon as they release the bonded laborers. But when they release the thing, they immediately provide a release certificate. The release certificate is called, it is like the person is freed from bonded labor and they're entitled to get rehabilitation. So at the time of the release certificate, initial cash assistance has been given 30,000. So rest of the amount, when they go back to the native place, they will get that. For, for that, they have to be convicted. So at the time of release certificate is given, 30,000 is given, FIR, first information report has been filed, and then people have been repatriated. Okay. So when they repatriate, the following cases has to be happened through the public prosecutor and the judicial system has to take care of. Like filing up charge sheet, bringing the case to the trial, prosecution, all those things has to be happened. Then the conviction only. So people rescued, example in Tamil Nadu, they may be in a Bihar. It's a long process of prosecution, trial period are happening. So at the most of the cases, in all over except 2 to 3%, all over India, the 30,000 only received. Rest of the amount, balance amount, many places they not received because the conviction rate is very low. So unless
Okay.
we take, yeah, this is the issue.
Okay, okay. And how long does it take for the laborers to receive the 30,000? Because in most cases, we see that laborers, once they are freed and given the release certificate, still they don't get the fund, the allowance on time. They have to like visit department to department or, make multiple requests. And in some cases, we have found it took years, like, more than a year to receive the allowances. So what happens? What are the challenges that it in this whole system in providing the funds on time or the allowance on time?
Say that as per my experience, 20% only that kind of cases come. Almost 80% the government is giving immediately cash assistance. What is happening? Every district they
This
should have a
this is
car.
this in your state? This is
No,
happening in your state
I'm
only?
telling Tamil. I give you example. Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra, all these states they give immediately. Example, I tell you. One of the case we rescued in Indi. Indi is the one of the district located in North Karnataka, where people rescued the people of native of Telangana. They rescued in the district. Immediately the collector, they called a bank manager to come and open a bank account. They did not have bank account. Then they have to open a bank account, they need a Aadhaar identity card. The collector asked all the Aadhaar department to come. They created an Aadhaar identity there itself. Then they opened a bank account. Then they asked the labor department official to issue immediately money 30,000 to each person. So this was happened within 4 days, within 3 to 4 days. But till the 3 to 4 days, the collectors provided accommodation, medical aid, protection, and all those things. After that, they transported the native of the Telangana, that's a source state. Destination state is Indi in Karnataka, Bijapur area, where they provided immediate cash assistance, Aadhaar identity card, bank account, FIR copy, and also protection letter to the source state. So like that it was happened. Other case I'll tell you. In Osu, one of the sub-collector in Osu, the people are from Telangana. They rescued in Osu area. They did not have Aadhaar identity. They did not have bank account. They do not have anything. So the sub-collector took a special interest. They put them under the rehabilitation home till to get all these things. They took 7 days to open an Aadhaar identity card, bank account. They deposited money. They arranged a transport facility. Then they took it. Similarly, in Telangana also it was happened. They rescued people from Bihar area. They provided immediate cash assistance, like a check amount. They took the check from all the way from Telangana to Odisha and they submitted to the beneficiary's family a check. Then they opened. So like that it has happened. The issue where happens, the law says up to 30,000 amount can be given. The officials and the government should understand this is the welfare legislation. This law is actually the labor officials, they have to see that the minimum wages, when they're not paid, it is a bonded labor as per the law. So they see somewhere else, the objective of the law is prevent exploitation of the workers, prevent prevent exploitation of the workers, prevent criminals enforcement on forced labor, protect the laborers. So that way, it depends upon the officials' cooperation. So as far as our experience, Karnataka is giving immediately cash assistance, Telangana giving immediate cash assistance, Andhra also giving immediate, Tamil Nadu also giving immediate cash assistance. Among these areas, one or two locations they don't follow because they will say we don't have Aadhaar identity card, they don't have bank account, they don't have identity to prove anything. So they take time to provide. In some locations, for example, Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh, they even give 5,000 only. Instead of 30,000, they give 5,000. When you talk to them, they say up to 30,000. So it's up to ours. And if other example, I'll give you. Wayanad, Kerala. Wayanad, Kerala, the district administration is very good in terms of dealing the issue. They don't wait for the central sector scheme support. They give under the district discretion, collector's discretion fund. They have a district fund itself. They give immediately whatever amount the person needed. The law also says like that. What law says? Up to the collector to decide if the victim is required more fund, they can give. So collector from other department source, for example, tribal welfare fund, social welfare fund, from those funds they take and provide and support to the victims. So my experience says, out of all these cases, 80% of the cases, as soon as they give release certificate, they provide immediate cash assistance within a maximum 15 days. That's all. So meanwhile, uh, pardon. Yes, tell me. No, it is depends upon uh, the leadership of the subdivisional magistrate. It yes. The minimum wages once in a I mean, the Commissioner of Ministry of Labor and Employment, the Commissioner is fixed the minimum wages notification. From minimum wages notification, it differs from work to work, agriculture, plantation, it's a different type of jobs are there. No? So each job is a different. Similarly, state to state also different. But how the government is calculating so far, if the wages is paid less than the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act wages, so easy to understand. If it normally National Rural Employment Guarantee Act is some major like 246, 286, like Tamil Nadu 300 like that, 294 like that. So if it is less than that, it is the Supreme Court says if the worker is paid less than minimum wages fixed by the government, they are the bonded laborers. The Supreme Court says. So labor officials to come to decide. Revenue Department, the role is district administration as a key department dealing this issue. One is the Revenue Department. Second is Labor Department. Third is Police Department. Fourth is Social Welfare Department. The Women and Child Welfare. So when they come, Labor Department will calculate what are the wages paid. Do they have attendance register? Do they pay the wages through a bank account, or do they pay weekly wages like that? All the wage calculation is done by Labor Department. Revenue Department, when they seeing the situation, are they forced to work because of the advance? Are they forced to work because of the debt? Are they forced to work due to obligation? So immediately by seeing the prima facie, the Revenue Department will come to conclusion they are bonded labor. Let us give release certificate. Labor Department will calculate what are the wages pending, even including back wages. Labor Department officials will coordinate and they ensure that wages have been paid. Even back wages are paid. Normally, if the children are involved, they will also include law called Child Labor Prohibition Act. If the caste system is included, then they will include Prevention of Atrocities Act. So all these laws are applicable, but predominantly, primarily, the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act is a very important, and the section 16, 17, 18 is applicable if any bonded labor is practiced. Yeah. See, I can give about few examples how to go about further means. Like first, let us accept the crime. When you accept the crime, you will have ways to eliminate the crime. So instead of denial motive, we have to accept. That's the point one. Second, increase accountability of the multiple stakeholders. All this, we have a system, we have a tool, we have a law. If you don't implement, what is the use of law? So accountability is the second part. That part, we have to combine the pro-poor or pro-labor legislations, like Bonded Labor System Abolition Act, Child Labor Act, Interstate Migrant Workmen Act, Prevention of Atrocities Act, and even in this, recently instead of IPC, we call it BNS, that the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita Act, Section 143, 144, 145, and 146. All these things has to be implemented. So implementation of law effectively is at that point. Fourth point, interdepartmental coordination. Fifth point, interstate coordination. And the sixth point, central state cooperation. For example, central sector scheme on rehabilitation has been provided with a financial assistance to create corpus fund to conduct study and to conduct evaluation study. This was created in 2016. And so across the country, we need to have a survey and bring a white paper document, database document. So we don't have data, so data has to be developed. Then regulating vigilance committee and implementing sustainable rehabilitation. Then addressing the root causes, remove the poverty through a central state action plan with a time frame. And then other issue, other thing is, even the national government, why can't the national government can observe bonded labor system abolition day as a national child labor day, national, International Women's Day, we have on March 8th, at least on one day people are talking about women's rights. Like that, let the government of India announce February 9th as an anti-bonded labor day at national level. So that is the day it will give a responsibility to the government in terms of sensitization, identification, liberating people from the bonded labor issue, prosecution, rehabilitation, and prevention. So we must understand that all these things, coordination at the all level, state central coordination should be there. State central should come forward and discuss. And every state, it's called state level monitoring committees there. State level monitoring review and monitoring team every under chief secretary. That as all the states should conduct regularly the meetings. Similarly, all the districts should conduct vigilance committees. Vigilance committee meetings should be there. Vigilance committee should be involved in monitoring and eliminating crime. Finally, what I would like to say, see, injustice anywhere. It's a threat to justice everywhere. For example, today the crime is happening Kanyakumari as Kashmir. Tomorrow it will may happen in my village. The next day in my home. So somewhere else the society, if you want a beautiful society, let us eliminate this crime from our society. So peace and justice is the beauty of the society. We don't have peace and justice because exploitation is happening. So hence, let us together eliminate this crime from our society. Then only the society will have a natural beauty. So addressing this issue is more important.
And what are your expectations from the media in overall? How media can, play a role here by effectively reporting on this matter?
Yeah.
Just
See,
quickly,
yeah, media is already playing this issue because media is the only thing that is supporting and addressing the human trafficking and bonded labor issue. Only thing what we not know, media not only just okay, bonded laborers are rescued like that they are reporting. What we wanted, media also give solutions how the government can, media also can highlight the best practices what is happening so that the other government can learn. And media also can go and interview the officers who are doing good so that other officers can learn from them. So media can have predominant role in addressing this issue because media is sometimes by seeing the media itself, the court can act. So media always can play a very good role, and we people normally get strength because of the media support. So we need that kind of things, from all aspects. Identify people who are doing good work. If there is a gap, that also media can be highlighted. Not just reporting. Report with information. Report with solution.
Right. I think we'll have another session someday to talk about the best practices implemented so far, and also some of the positive cases, or some cases where a person who is freed from bonded labor
Yeah.
or slavery, his life after that, and how does the rehabilitation process has helped the person, in rebuilding his life again and getting back to the society with dignity. So I think further we'll have to go for, do another round. And now we have come to the end of our discussion, and I would really like to extend thanks for taking our time to discuss this very important issue. And I hope, as you said, that the government may declare February 9 as National Anti Bonded Labor Day. Right, and we'll also, as a media
Right. Yeah.
person, we will see how we can also contribute and come forward with more solution based reporting rather than just a case. All
Yeah.
right, then.
Thank you. Thank you. I just
Thank you
want
so much.
you have to take this issue. Why can't government can declare anti-bonded level as national level? PM Modi can do that because one day, like a study system, how we abolish in our country, the bonded level system also should be abolished from our country and safeguard all innocent people. For that, media is very important role can be played.
Right, and also government has to pay more attention to this, because it's happening in every nook and corner. It's happening in metro cities. We cannot get away with this, and this requires attention from everyone, including media, government, and all the stakeholders. Well said. Well, I don't know. Do you have any questions, or does anyone like to ask any question? If there's any question, please do comment in the box. And I'm also going to, provide information about Dr. Krishnan and his organization. So anybody with any queries or any cases or any information related to bonded labor or labor trafficking can contact Dr. Krishnan's organization, or may, contact him directly.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking your time and leading the questions, especially asking the wonderful questions, which made me to think all these things. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially thank you. Thank you because you did on important day. Today is, Bonded Labour System Abolition Day. So you did it today. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank, thanks everyone for joining.